Hey guys, what's going on? Dr. Frank here, founder of Addiction Mindset Recovery Coaching, where we help people quit nicotine, THC, energy drinks, and a whole host of other addictions. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I try and put out a video every day to keep you motivated, so turn on those notifications. In today's video, I want to talk about people who are in recovery from marijuana, THC, or weed addiction, and this can apply to edibles, disposable weed cartridges, whatever you want, dry herb. And I want to talk about some of the nutritional changes that occur and coming up, helping you develop a nutritional program that's going to set you up for success in your recovery from THC or marijuana products and for the detox process. Now, before we dive into that and before we discuss all these different things like protein powders that I recommend, different types of soups, different types of things like that, I'm going to put links to a lot of this stuff in the description below. So if you're looking for these products, check out the links in the description. Obviously, if you purchase from those links on Amazon, it helps us out here at Addiction Mindset. Much appreciated. Okay. Oh, last caveat too before we get started. If you need help quitting, you can reach out to the Addiction Mindset website. We do group coaching and one-on-one consultations. And then there's also a free PDF on the website and course on quitting marijuana, quitting nicotine, quitting addictions. So let's jump right into it. If you've been a habitual consumer of marijuana products or THC products and you're now trying to quit smoking weed, one of the things that is often impacted is your appetite and your relationship with food. And in order to understand why that is, we just got to understand some of the basics of weed. So within your body, you have this system called your endocannabinoid system. And this system has receptors on it, and these are called cannabinoid receptors. And a lot of these receptors are found in your GI tract. They're found in your gut. They're found in your colon. They're found in your large and small intestines, right? So a lot of your endocannabinoid system receptors live within your gut. Now, every time you smoke THC, which predominantly, or smoke marijuana, which predominantly has THC and CBD in it, those two phytocannabinoids coming from a plant, phyto, bind to your body's endocannabinoid receptors. Specifically, THC directly binds to them. So naturally, this is going to have an impact on digestion because this endocannabinoid system plays a large role in the regulation of digestion and appetite and essentially your relationship with food. Now, that becomes a problem for a lot of people who are quitting using THC. And this can go both ways. I do want to say one other thing. Some people with Crohn's disease or inflammatory conditions like that respond very, very well to certain blends of THC and CBD. So it can have benefit on the GI system. But on the flip side of that, if you do too much or you're not a candidate for it, you can also wind up developing something called Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, which is a condition where you're constantly vomiting, you're smoking a lot of weed, you're losing weight, you've been to the ER, the doctors don't know what's wrong with you, you're always nauseous, you can't eat food in the morning, the only thing that helps is hot showers, it would seem, and you feel like the world is ending. It's a horrible, horrible syndrome that's caused by marijuana and can actually lead to death if you become dehydrated from constant vomiting, the damage that it causes on your kidneys, to be specific. So again, we can get benefits from the marijuana plant and we can get negatives from the marijuana plant. But this video applies to people who aren't on any either extreme end of that spectrum. They're just quitting THC, they're quitting smoking, and they're struggling with food. So let's start with the basics. My first piece of advice is utilize some degree of intuition when it comes to eating. So if you wake up in the morning and you're not hungry, don't force yourself to eat first thing in the morning. You might not be having your first meal until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I know for me, when I quit smoking weed, I wasn't usually hungry until about 7 p.m. in the evenings. And I would not eat food, generally speaking, until about 7 p.m. And that was for about probably the first month to 2 months after I first quit smoking weed. Use intuition. Don't force feed yourself, because if you force feed yourself, you're going to find that you're getting nauseous, and then you're going to think to yourself, oh my gosh, the only thing that's going to relieve this nausea is if I smoke, thinking that smoking is going to cure the nausea when it's actually the cause. And now you've set up a trigger for relapse on marijuana products. So use intuition. Don't force feed yourself food. Listen to your body. Listen to your appetite. Your endocannabinoid system and your GI system are rebalancing during this recovery process from weed. Let them work with you. Let them speak to you and go with that. Now, when it comes to intuition of food, I also want you to use some intuition when it comes to what foods are you craving? What foods do you suddenly have an aversion to? A lot of people notice when they're quitting smoking marijuana products, they develop an aversion to foods. Maybe it's chocolates. Maybe it's coffee and caffeine. Maybe it's, I don't know, really high fat foods. You have to pay attention to your body. The foods that it doesn't respond well to for the time being, get rid of them. Don't consume them. Feed your body foods that it wants. Your body's going to tell you what foods it wants to be eating during this time, and I highly recommend you listen to it. Now, that comes with a caveat though. And that caveat is, if your body's craving tons of sugars and really, really high fatty foods, that's not healthy. And the problem with that is, while you're recovering from this marijuana addiction or THC addiction, and while you're detoxing from marijuana and THC, you want to optimize your body for detox and recovery. And the best way to do that is focusing on healthy foods, fruits, vegetables, healthy proteins, healthy fats, healthy carbohydrates. The more you can focus on consuming healthy foods, the more you're going to optimize your body to handle this detox process better. So that's my advice. I would focus on things like strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries. I know when I first quit using THC products, I was obsessed with frozen blueberries. I loved frozen fruit. Something about it just seemed super refreshing. It was super light. Yes, I know there's sugar in fruits. I know that there's those things in there, but that's okay for right now. I'm just talking about don't be eating candy or junk food per se. I also noticed I had to avoid very, very high fat foods or foods that were super saturated. So anything that was really heavy and dense, my body could not handle. For example, I used to get like a cheeseburger with lettuce, tomato, bacon, egg, some type of buffalo sauce on it, ketchup for the fries. When I quit smoking, I could literally only tolerate like a burger with cheese, a bun, and then fries without ketchup. Not saying that's the healthiest of meals, but it was a plain Jane type of meal. Chicken, rice, and maybe a little bit of soy sauce on it. So I would start to think more plain Jane, more simple when you're quitting using marijuana products. And I think you're going to find that your body and your stomach tolerates that much, much, much better. Plain Jane, smaller servings, smaller portions, less frequent eating throughout the day. And guys, one big thing that I would recommend watching out for when you first quit marijuana is try and lay off the snacking throughout the day and try and save your appetite for that lunchtime meal or that dinner time meal, so you can try and cram a bunch of healthy food into one sitting versus kind of snacking on small amounts of junk all day long, because then you're just going to feel bloated and then you're definitely not going to be hungry by the time dinner rolls around. So you know what, look into things like intermittent fasting protocols, 1 meal a day nutrition programs. I think those are great programs for people who are just starting to quit THC or marijuana products. But at the end of the day, listen to your body and feed your body what it needs. I wouldn't obsess over going vegan, going keto, going low carb, going high carb, low fat, high fat. Just think simple. Think about what your body's craving and think about feeding your body during the appropriate times when it wants to eat. Okay, now into some of the more specific recommendations when it comes to THC. One of the big things that got me through was protein shakes. And again, I put a link to this product in the description below. This is what is this? Ascent Whey. I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sure. Elite protein at its purest. Okay, so this is a great product. It tastes really, really good. I've had the vanilla and the chocolate peanut butter flavors. And this protein powder or protein powders, this is my favorite one by far. Taste is unbelievable. Mixability is unbelievable. It doesn't leave that protein aftertaste in your mouth. I love this protein. You can find it. I live in New York. We have it at Wegmans. Vitamin Shop has it. You can find it online easily. So I would take a scoop of this. I would mix it in a blender bottle. I put a link for these below as well too, with about 14 ounces of unsweetened almond milk. Okay, so this is my weed recovery shake, or my Mary Jane recovery shake. Ascent Way vanilla protein powder in 16 ounces of almond milk in a blender bottle mixed with the almond milk. You mix that together, shake it up, drink that, and boom, you have a really healthy, clean source of protein. And protein is super important when it comes to your body's recovery, when it comes to proper detox, when it comes to maintaining weight and appropriate muscle mass. Protein is a great thing. It's very filling. Again, I can't emphasize this enough. So what I would do when I first quit, this would be either my breakfast or my lunch. More realistically, this would be my lunch. And, you could do, if you're really not eating, 1 to 2 protein shakes a day, and that should really help you out. I did 1 a day. Again, if you have Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, this can be a great option. But if you're suffering from kidney damage or kidney problems due to the dehydration, you might want to be careful with the protein shakes. Another staple of mine when I was quitting marijuana was soup. This is, again, a Wegmans brand, just minestrone soup. Again, chicken noodle soup, things that are just very, very plain Jane did the best for me. There's some other soups out there by I think it's like Kettle Broth, and there's some really, really healthy organic soups out there, but I like just the plain Jane soups. The lighter the soup, the better. So soup was another staple of mine. That was often a lunch or a dinner meal for me. Another thing that was really important I found was snacking on pickles. I just like dill pickles. Pickles are a great option to snack on when you're recovering because of the electrolytes. So this is awesome to help with hydration. This is awesome to help with electrolyte replenishment, which reminds me, guys, when you're recovering from cannabis or when you're quitting smoking, drink lots of water. I mean, carry a hydro flask around with you during the day. If you drink out of plastic water bottles, whatever. But make sure you're drinking ample amounts of water throughout the day, because this is going to help speed up and maintain a healthy detox process. But it's also going to keep you full and keep you from snacking on junk food. So we have the pickles there. One of my absolute favorites. This was a staple of mine. And this gives you guys a great source of healthy fats, carbohydrates, and it gives you a great source of that sweet tooth too. I love Kind bars. Now, when you get the Kind bars, I recommend sticking to the 5 grams of sugar or less, okay? So that's here. These are the dark chocolate nuts and sea salt ones. What I would do for my snack is I would take a Kind bar, and then I would get this. It's organic sunflower butter, organic sun butter. My favorite one. Those of you guys who have peanut allergies, nut allergies, this is an incredible option for you. And I would take a teaspoon or tablespoon of organic sun butter, and I would spread it, more like a tablespoon, and I would spread it on top of the Kind bar, and then I would eat that as a snack. And you're talking, you get a tablespoon of this, 2 tablespoons, you're talking 19 grams of fat, 8 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs. You're going to get a little more carbs in here with some protein and some fibers. And that's a great snack. Sometimes, I would do the protein shake in conjunction with this, and that would be like my pseudo lunch. Some other things that I really enjoyed eating during this time was hard-boiled eggs. You can get the little egg cookers. I'll put a description for one below where you can hard-boil 6 to 12 eggs at a time, and then they peel super, super easily. I loved eating hard-boiled eggs during this. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. Those were the main foods. Oh, the other big one I would do too was bone broth. So just like, actually, believe it or not, plain bone broth when my stomach would hurt, I would just warm this up in an 8-ounce like teacup, and I would just drink this at night. Again, I got the Wegmans organic chicken bone broth, and here we are with 9 grams of protein per 1 cup. So you do a cup of this. Again, you're getting healthy proteins. You're getting some healthy things from the bone broth. And this was great. Easy on the stomach, easy to digest. Really, really good actually for gut health and GI health. And you can put, whatever in there. Parsley, I don't know. Whatever people put in bone broth. And what else would I say? Supplements. So some of you guys might benefit from taking a probiotic supplement that will help with your gastrointestinal health and rebalancing those healthy gut bacteria. Some of you guys might get benefit if you're getting heartburn and things like that from an aloe vera supplement. Again, I'll put links to these things below in the video. But sometimes supplements can be really helpful. I'll make a separate video on supplements when it comes to recovering from THC addiction. But for GI health, aloe vera, probiotic, probably your best bet. If you have a gluten problem, you could do a gluten ease supplement as well too, which consists of some digestive enzymes. But I'll put all those things below. Speaking of digestion, here I go burping. Guys, I hope this video helps. I tried to pack a lot into this video for you. Reach out to our offices if you need help. And if you're suffering from Cannabinoid Hyperemesis Syndrome, where you got that vomiting and you really can't eat anything at all, I highly recommend you check out the next video and follow me right over where I talk about CHS. Be sure to check out the description links below. Ask questions, leave comments. I do my best to respond to all of them on here. I'll see you guys in the next video.